This is CurranBhatia. I'm here with Mathew Macklin. Mathew, how's everything going in your career? I know your last fight was in 2016. Are you officially done?
Oh, I'm officially done. No, I mean, I had a great time. I had a 15-year career, so it was a long career. Had some great times, you know what I mean? I wouldn't change any of it. Would love to do it all again, but I can't. So, but I'm enjoying working on the fights for Sky Sports, covering the fights. I get the best seat in the house week in, week out. And so I still get my little fix for boxing.
So you fought some great champions in your day. Was there anyone that stuck out as a great fight for you, a memorable opponent, anything like that?
Yeah, I think Gennady Golovkin was probably the best of them. I think he was the best all-round fighter that I fought. Sergio Martinez was very awkward. Yeah. I had to fight a very intelligent fight against him. It was different because really I'd like to come forward, sit in the pocket, trade blows, fight at a fast pace. Obviously with Sergio, if you did that, you'd be committing suicide. So it was very much had to change tactics and had to box, had to feint, had to use my feet a lot. So it was a tactical fight, you know. But he was a very slick southpaw, great counter puncher, good hand speed, constantly on the move. So it was difficult to find any rhythm with him because you couldn't put combinations together. It was like one shot, maybe two if you're lucky. So yeah, it was an unusual fight for me. It wasn't how I would like to go about my business. I like to stand there, but so yeah. But he was a really good, top of his game fighter as well. I mean, Felix Stern was a good fighter. I thought I won that fight clearly, but he was a good fighter. And many fights along the way. Yeah, brilliant.
It's almost like Martinez and Golovkin are polar opposites in their style. Golovkin, the come forward guy. Martinez always backing up. If that fight had ever happened with both guys in their prime, who would you have picked with Martinez versus Golovkin?
I think Golovkin would have beaten him. I think Sergio was a very good counter puncher, good hand speed, hit quite hard, you know, accurate. But I think Golovkin was just an all-rounder better fighter, and I think he would have adjusted, he would have found a way to win.
When you took on Golovkin, he was at his top peak. He's probably coming down a little bit now. Are you seeing that too as an observer?
Oh, absolutely. I think he's been coming down for a while. Yeah. You know, even before the Canelo fights, I think he was on the decline. Yeah, when I fought him, he was definitely at his peak, and not only because he was at his peak, he was hungry because he was unknown. So people didn't want to fight him. So he wanted to make he was happy to take the short end to get people to fight him. I mean, he's a credit really to the sport and a throwback in a time where boxers are thinking they're businessmen and they're all about splits and who's the A side and all this. So he just wanted to fight the best challenge time after time. And if you're a real boxing fan, then you have to be a Gennady Golovkin fan. But definitely his best days are behind him.
He's become a buzzman now, it seems like.
Now maybe, but I don't blame him now. You know, he probably wants to cash out now. You know, he took the short end for so long that look, he deserves every penny he earns. He's been a throwback. He's been a great ambassador, a great role model for the sport. You know, the way if there were more Gennady Golovkins in boxing with his attitude, boxing would be in a better place. And it's in a great place, by the way. But you know what I'm saying? He's that I'll fight anyone. I believe I'm the best, and I'm willing to prove it no matter what. If everyone had that attitude, we wouldn't be worrying about, like for example, this fight, Wilder Brazil. We're talking about Joshua. You know what I mean? We just want to see them fight each other. We understand it's a business, but what I'm saying, Gennady Golovkin, he's more like Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis. He just wants to. I'm the best. And I'll prove it by fighting whoever, whenever.
And just line them up and.
Line them up, man.
Yeah. So when you fought him, you know, he always had that. Golovkin had that mythical status, that power. Did you feel that immediately when you got in the ring with him?
Yeah, he was very heavy-handed, you know. So his jabs were ramrod jabs, you know. They were like, he didn't really. I mean, the body shot, he knocked me out. He broke my ribs, you know. That was the hardest.
That must have hurt a little bit, huh?
That was the hardest I've ever been hit by the body by far. Completely took my wind away. If I could have got up, I would have got up, but I couldn't. I couldn't move. I was, you know, in pain. But he didn't shake me to the head, but he didn't catch me with a big shot to the head. But you know, he was busting me up with the jab. You know, his jabs were like solid right hands. You know, so I knew. You know, maybe that's why he got me to the body, because I was so preoccupied with he touched me. I thought the left hook to the head was coming, and he went downstairs with it, got me to the body. But yeah,
thinking less protect to the head, and he capitalized.
He opened me up.
Yeah. So what was your take on his two first fights with Canelo? They're obviously close fights. First one a draw, second one Canelo wins by 1 point. Who do you think won those fights?
I thought he won the first fight clearly.
You thought Golovkin did?
Like I'd go so far as to say I thought he was robbed in the first fight. Second fight, I don't think he was robbed. I had him winning that fight by 1 round, but I could easily see it around the other way for Canelo. There were at least 3 or 4 very close rounds in the fight. I thought it was a fight that could have gone either way. I edged to Golovkin, but I had no problem with the decision for Canelo. In the second fight, first fight, I thought Golovkin was a clear winner.
So Golovkin's got Rolls next. Most people think that'll probably be an easy test. If he gets by that, Canelo just beat Jacobs. Do you think we're going to see the trilogy?
I hope so. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Canelo probably wins the trilogy, and probably more convincingly than the second one. Even though the second one, it wasn't a bad decision. It was whatever you liked. It could have gone either way. But he's on the slide, man. He's 37 years old. He's not the fighter he was, and he's slipping. Where I think Canelo's in the peak of his career now. I think it's like he's on right now. Canelo is right at the top of his game. I thought he was brilliant against Jacobs.
Yeah. And Golovkin's getting older. He's changing trainers. So
yeah. Exactly. I think he's not. I think these are his last few fights now.
So let's talk about, you have some big fights coming up as an announcer for Sky Sports. So we're here at the Wilder workout. Wilder's got Brazil. How do you see that fight going down?
I think Wilder knocks him out early doors. I think 3 rounds. I think too powerful. Brazil, decent fighter, but he's not that awkward. He's not that slick. And I don't think Wilder will find it too hard to get to him. And I think when he does, he's got big power.
And then a few weeks later, Joshua is fighting Ruiz, a kind of scratch opponent, a late opponent. What's your take on that fight?
I think Andy Ruiz is probably as good, if not better, than Jarrell Miller, but he doesn't have the size or the physicality. Maybe that could have given Joshua some problems, and he throws a lot of. He's a volume puncher, Jarrell Miller. He throws a lot of punches. He sets a fairly. He's pretty well. I know he doesn't look well conditioned, but he throws a lot of shots. He's got a pretty good engine, which was maybe enhanced by PEDs. I don't know. I don't want to be too controversial, but he did fail 3 drug tests. So, but I think Andy Ruiz doesn't have the physicality that Jarrell Miller has. But I think in terms of boxing IQ, natural ability, skills, I think he's probably an all-round better fighter than Jarrell Miller.
And as someone who is a clean fighter like yourself, seeing the 3 tests by Jarrell Miller and testing positive for PEDs, does that bother you a little bit as someone who got in the ring and risked their life and made that happen? When you see something like that, does that bother you?
Yeah, I mean, Jarrell Miller's a character, and I've met him a few times. I liked him, but I think he should be. If a guy fails 3 tests, 1 for EPO, 1 for growth hormone, and whatever the other one was, I mean, I just think he should be banned for life. I don't think that. 2 years at least. 6 months. What does that like? I don't know what's going to happen, but it's like there's no deterrent, and it's creeping into boxing, and it's not good. People die in boxing, so I think he should be dealt with as severely as possible.
I mean, 6 months is missing 1 fight, right? So you think it should be a lifetime ban?
Lifetime ban. Lifetime ban.
So let's say Wilder gets past.
Maybe maybe if it's the first time, maybe you get a 2-year ban. Yeah. But if you're a second time, life.
So let's say Wilder gets past Brazil, Joshua gets past Ruiz, and they finally lock horns, a fight everyone wants to see, Wilder versus Joshua. Who do you think will win that fight? How will it go down?
I think Joshua's the better fighter all round. I think but he's a bit static, you know what I mean? I think the thing with Wilder, with Fury's so mobile. I think Tyson Fury is probably the best heavyweight in the world. They're definitely the most natural ability. Great with mobile, he's got good speed, he's got that head movement, he's very clever. You know what I mean? He's got good variety, he's very natural. Wilder's got freaky power. You know what I mean? Joshua's well schooled, hands nice and high, little bit static upper body movement sometimes. So maybe Wilder could catch him. I don't know, but Joshua could definitely knock Wilder out. Joshua's a big puncher, quite good technical ability, well schooled.
And you said Fury's the best heavyweight. So are you saying Fury would beat Joshua in that mythical matchup?
I think he's the most skillful, and I think Joshua would really struggle with Fury's movement and his versatility and how he keeps changing things up. Someone like Tyson Fury is very difficult to read, because he can mix it up. He can go southpaw. He's got good movement. He's got good speed, and psychologically, man, that psychological warfare in the build-up, you know what I mean? He's a hard man to beat. He's very funny, but Joshua's well schooled, but I think he might be a little bit too straight lines and a little bit too mechanical for Fury.
Mathew, thanks so much for the time.
Cheers, thanks.